There's something very big about gold-backed digital currency, silver-backed digital currency that many stackers are ignoring, which could actually be very good for the value of the silver and the gold that you do hold. I know, I understand, if you don't own it, you don't hold it. Or the other way around. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Nonetheless, let's take a look at what's going on in the world right now. One specific example of a country that is issuing gold-backed digital tokens, but more importantly, let's talk about this big factor that you're likely ignoring as you come out against silver and gold-backed digital currency that could actually help significantly the value of the metals that you do hold. We're going to talk about an article here from Coin Telegraph written by David Atlee. It's about Zimbabwe. It says on October 5th, the gold-backed digital token under the name Zimbabwe Gold officially kicked off as a payment method. The launch was announced by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. The first time the RBZ introduced its new project was just back in April of this year. The central bank specified that every issued digital token would be backed by a physical amount of gold held in the bank's reserves. So this token will absolutely be backed by real physical gold. Remember that, because that becomes very important when we talk about this factor that you're going to like when it comes to gold and silver-backed digital money. The RBZ started issuing physical gold tokens last year, claiming their successful adoption. The mission behind both physical coins and freshly introduced digital tokens is to persuade local investors to put their money into national assets and not American dollars. Here's another example of a country de-dollarizing, moving their citizenry away from the U.S. dollar, which is not an easy task in a country with triple-digit inflation level. As the Royal Bank Governor Dr. John Manguja said earlier, he said, quote, "The issuance of the gold-backed digital tokens is meant to expand the value-preserving instruments available in the economy." Value-preserving instruments, things like silver and gold, right? And enhance the visibility of the investment instruments and widen their access and usage by the public. Digital tokens can be stored in either e-gold wallets or e-gold cards and are tradable both for P2P and business transactions. The bank reported several levels of prices for the digital token, depending on the weight and its gold reserve. You can buy a 1 ounce for $1,910 or a tenth of an ounce for $191. And again, the key here is these are backed up by real physical gold, which is going to become very important as we discuss why this is such a big deal. I know, I understand, right? Most gold and silver stackers do not like the idea of digital money, okay? This is not a cryptocurrency. This is a digital token that is represented by real physical metal. Have you considered, right? The state of Texas in the United States is talking about a similar type proposal. First Mining Gold is a development company advancing 2 of the largest gold projects in Canada. Springpole in Ontario and Duparquet, located in Quebec, each already has 5 million ounces of gold reserves, but exploration initiatives are underway at both projects to find even more gold. First Mining is well-financed, has 0 debt, and owns an interest in 4 additional Canadian gold development projects. Have you considered that since these tokens are backed up, they are regulated, they are transparent, the metal is actually there? Have you considered that if they become very popular, that would mean that the banks that are backing them would have to buy massive, huge amounts of the metal represented by the digital tokens? I understand if you don't hold it, you don't own it, and no one would force you to move any of your physical metal into digital tokens. But the fact that the popularity of these products could skyrocket could mean that demand for those metals, demand for that metal that you do hold, could also skyrocket as well. Just like the Royal Bank governor said, value preserving instruments. And throughout the world, aren't we seeing people flocking towards value preserving instruments? We know what happened in Japan, right? Japan, the third largest economy in the world, just in the last couple of months has had a gold buying frenzy, a gold buying bonanza. And why? Well, because the value of their yen was going down, 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 and the Japanese public collectively finally woke up and started buying gold at a pace that hadn't been seen for decades. And gold reached an all-time high price when measured in Japanese yen. Could that happen in the United States? Let's talk about the Costco phenomena. Costco, one of the biggest retailers in the United States, reports that when they started selling gold on their website, it was sold out within minutes. Every time they put a new level of inventory on their website, sold out within minutes. We talk about the COMEX and the LBMA, the price of silver, the price of gold being managed down. The only thing that will break that, right? All that leverage, the 250 to 1 leverage in the silver electronic market, the only thing that's going to break the leverage in the gold market as well is physical demand. Aren't these digital tokens like Texas is proposing, like Zimbabwe is implementing, and there's a slew of other physical gold-backed digital token products that are either on the market or are being developed right now. I believe the World Gold Council is even involved in one. Aren't they going to generate potentially a massive amount of demand for physical metal? And you know silver will be right behind as well. Look, when we look at the landscape of what's going on out there right now in the world, the debt, geopolitical risk, everything else, the flight to safety that's occurring, the flight to safety, which used to go to the U.S. dollar, used to go to U.S. Treasury bonds, but a big segment of that now, because of the bifurcation in the world, is not going to dollars, is not going to savings bonds. What's the world's oldest form of flight to safety? Yes, that's right, precious metals. We're likely heading into a period where we could see massive demand growth for the precious metals. If you want to get your hands on some now, before it's potentially too late, why don't you go check out Pimbex? They make videos like this possible. Online bullion dealer. I've worked with them myself before they sponsored the channel. They're trustworthy, they have the best prices, and the best service. Go check them out for yourself, and I think that when you do, you'll discover what I did, and that is that Pimbex is best. It's going to be interesting to see how all this digital token scenario plays out for us precious metals investors. You know I'll be here for you through it all. Thanks for your time right now in the basement, and I'll see you soon.